Recently, Tabitha Brown made a video that got a lot of people talking. In it, she seemed to be telling entrepreneurs that they needed to go back into the workforce and get a 9 to 5 if their business wasn't working. And it has gotten the internet in an uproar. And while I understand what she was trying to say, I think her comments and the timing missed some very important realities, especially for Black women. I'm Anne Marie, and I'm the founder and owner of AntiHR, an HR consulting company that provides employee focused consulting, advice, and support. I spent over 25 years managing and overseeing human resources, and I am also a licensed attorney. While I don't provide legal advice, I share insights based on my deep understanding of how HR really works. My niche is teaching employees not just how to recognize discrimination and other wrongdoing in their workplace, but how to leverage that recognition into negotiating a paid exit, a severance, without having to hire an attorney or file a legal claim. These are things that HR really doesn't want you to know because HR is not your friend. Before we dive in, make sure you like this video, comment, but do so constructively, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Now, let me say this first. I generally find Tabitha Brown to be one of the most positive and unproblematic people on the internet. She radiates joy, peace, and kindness. So I don't think she intended any harm. I think she was trying to offer tough love. I am quite taken aback by the tone that many have taken in terms of their disagreement with Miss Tabitha's take. She always speaks with a lot of love and kindness, and she did that in the video that she put up. So I am very disappointed and taken aback by the viciousness of some of the comments that seem to be coming from the Black community. Even though, to be honest, on the internet, it can be hard to tell because there are trolls and bots and other pretenders who put themselves out there as if they are Black people, and some of them aren't even real people. Still, I have been struck by the hostility and the viciousness of some of the comments, and that they appear to legitimately be coming from Black people, and specifically some being from Black women. To me, this implies a certain level of resentment against Mrs. Brown that is very concerning. Because I think as a community, we should be rooting for her, even if we don't agree with everything she says. And more broadly, I believe we should be trying to do the same for all of the Black community, especially now. And obviously, if we disagree with someone, it's okay to say that. But I don't think it's necessary to be disagreeable just because you disagree with someone. It is definitely not necessary to be vicious, angry, or unkind in your attacks in order to disagree with someone's viewpoint. I have followed Tabitha Brown since she made that viral video way back when in her car while she was driving for Uber. And that video, of course, catapulted her into being the social media darling that she is now, and the successful businesswoman that she is today. And I've been watching as she pivots since the whole Target debacle, and I'm quite impressed with the way she's doing it. She is a businesswoman, she's a capitalist, she's building generational wealth for herself and her family, and I'm not mad at any of it. Even if I don't necessarily agree with everything she said, I think I understand where she was coming from. And frankly, I think there are many people who are intentionally misunderstanding her because they've always wanted to attack her, and this just gives them an opportunity and a reason to do it. And the fact that so many of these attackers are Black people and Black women in particular is just very disappointing to me. Like I said before, you can disagree with someone without vicious attacks. I'm not going to participate in attacking Tabitha Brown personally because I don't agree with the entirety of what she said. We need to recognize that some of us are very unhealed. Some of us also are very jealous of seeing successful Black women, and by us, I mean both Black women and Black men. Seeing this play out in the comments just makes me very sad. We have to support each other and protect each other, even when we don't always agree. Because, as I said before, you can disagree without being disagreeable. But here's the problem. Saying just go back to a 9 to 5 in 2025 in this economy hits differently. Unless you've been under a rock, you're aware that since February, over 300,000 Black women have left the workforce, and not because they wanted to. Many of the 300,000 Black women were people pushed out of their federal government jobs by the regime of the occupant of the White House, who seems to be on a mission to undermine the economic well-being of the Black community. And realizing that Black women are the backbone of that economic well-being, they are specifically targeting Black women for economic ruin. And we need to be clear, this isn't only hurting Black women. Black men are also being impacted, but I believe what we're seeing is especially targeted at Black women. Why? Because we are the most educated demographic in the United States, and our excellence exposes their mediocrity. That exposure breeds resentment, jealousy, and backlash, or as I like to call it, white-lash. The reality is we didn't go out and get all these degrees and certifications because we wanted to play Education Olympics. As Black people, we have been taught that we have to be twice as good to get half of what they get for being mediocre. And even with all of that, Black women are still the lowest paid demographic in the United States of America. Now, after decades of grinding to achieve, we're seeing a white-lash of major proportions, historical proportions. Look at the timing. Reports about Black women being the most educated group. The first Black woman Supreme Court Justice. The first woman to be Vice President of the United States is a Black woman. And then that very same Black woman has the audacity to run for president, not once, but twice. And we also need to look at the role of the mainstream media in all of this. For years now, we've seen a wave of reports. Black women are the most educated demographic. You should believe Black women. You should trust Black women. And alongside those reports about the growth in Black women and their prominence, and the growth in Black and brown populations across the United States, of course, there's going to be a white-lash. Now, these kinds of reports aren't only about giving us information. They are also clear dog whistles. They are used to divide us and to scare white people, because there is nothing that terrifies white people more than the idea of becoming the minority group in the United States of America. That fear has driven so much of what we're seeing right now. They are literally doing everything they can to erase brown people from the population and push Black people back to the status they think we held before civil rights. Honestly, in my opinion, they're trying to take us all the way back to after the dismantling of Reconstruction and into the Jim Crow period, a Jim Crow 2.0, if you will. That's where they're trying to put us, a time when Black people had no rights at all in the South and very little in the North. But in the words of Kamala Harris, we are not going back. I left the U.S. workforce 4 years ago. I moved abroad and I started my own small businesses. This was not a decision I took lightly. It was a matter of survival. I know for so many Black women right now, it's the same. Entrepreneurship isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. So when Tabitha Brown gets on the internet and says, "Baby, it's time for you to get a job," I get what she's trying to say, but the reality is that many of us can't. The jobs are not there. Or when they are, they're hostile and unsustainable for us. Now, I do agree with the larger point that Tabitha seemed to be trying to make, which is the same thing I said in my most recent video. Work on building your side hustle while you are working your 9-to-5 job. Work on your side hustle while you have a reliable 9-to-5 flow of income. There's absolute wisdom in that advice, which is why I gave it myself. It's in my most recent video, and if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it. Don't cut off your lifeline before your business is sustainable. And it's important to have clarity about what sustainable looks like for you, because it's not the same for everyone. But it has to be defined by you so that you know when it is that you're ready to walk away from your 9-to-5 and to go completely into your small business. I think Tabitha was trying to talk to people who don't want to work at all, not for themselves or for anyone else. And there are, in fact, people like that. And instead of creating financial chaos and pressure for other people, she was advising that they instead go back into a 9-to-5. She was very clear that she was speaking to a very specific type of person. And I think too many people have intentionally chosen to misunderstand her. And as Tabitha and Rayshonda, another popular social media personality who jumped into the mix to support Tabitha, both of them have really said about the same thing. And I frankly appreciated Rayshonda jumping in to support Tabitha. And I amid the attacks, what both women are trying to say is that there is no shame in staying in your 9 to 5 while you're trying to build a business if you can stand it. And there's no shame in going back into the workforce if you need to. If that side hustle is not sustainable consistently for you to keep yourself financially afloat. But what Tabitha didn't address is the reality that those so-called 9 to 5 jobs are disappearing too. The current occupant of the White House and his regime are intentionally making it harder and harder for Black people, especially Black women, to find stable employment. This is an intentional attack on Black people, especially Black women, which means we can't afford to only think about 9 to 5 jobs. We have to create our own revenue streams, not just for wisdom, for survival. This is exactly why I created the AntiHR membership community, a supportive space built specifically for employees navigating discriminatory, hostile, or toxic work environments. Inside the community, you get real-time support and advice directly from me on your workplace issues, live sessions where we can go deeper on topics than I can do on YouTube, and access to exclusive resources, templates, and guides that I only share with members. And one of the biggest things I built for this moment is my brand new Entrepreneurship 101 webinar series. The webinar series, which is now live for registration on my website, was created by me because I've seen way too many people selling a fantasy about entrepreneurship. The truth is, it's not glamorous, it's not quick, and it's not easy. It takes clarity, consistency, and resilience. And with so many of us being pushed out of the workforce right now, it's more important than ever to have honest conversations about what it really takes to build something of your own. This is an 8-part live series, and the first session drops on September 18. The title of that session is The Truth About Becoming an Entrepreneur. In it, I will share my truths about the entrepreneur journey for me, the parts that people don't usually tell you, and connect it back to some of the very issues Tabitha Brown was trying to bring up. But I will try to do it in a much more detail. Here's the smartest way to access the Entrepreneur 101 webinar series. Join the Anti-HR community because annual members get access as part of their membership, and monthly members get access 50% off the listed price on the website. Being an entrepreneur is not for the weak, and it's not easy, but it's possible and it can be done, and it is so worth it in terms of your psychological well-being and your financial freedom. If this video was helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more strategies to survive and escape toxic workplaces. Don't forget to comment, but please do so constructively. And don't forget to check the links in the description to grab access to resources mentioned in this video. As always, I'm Anne Marie. This is the Anti-HR, and always remember, HR is not your enemy, but they are definitely not your friend. But I am. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.